Now, Daniel says, guess I'll get into questions since nobody else is saying much. Yeah, good. So my ex, Daniel says, and I broke up. Well, congratulations, maybe. If that wasn't working, I guess it's a good news. But he says, I have custody of our son. Okay. He and I moved out of state. Okay. She still wants to be part of our son's life. This is a very good question. She still wants to be part of our son's life, but she hurt me. I really just want to completely forget about her and cut her off. I don't see her being a great role model for our son anyways. What do you think? Will my son be okay psychologically if he never sees his mom again? He is 3 years old now. One of the best questions I've ever been asked. These are matters of very importance. This needs careful consideration. This needs careful understanding of what the mother feels, what you feel, what the son feels. Beyond your reasoning of why you're pissed or why you do what you do. Beyond that, you need to rise above where you are. Do not look at this situation from where you are. I want you to rise above, go somewhere in the universe, and look at this downwardly. That there is a situation, mom and dad with a 3-year-old son. And mom's done some things, whatever it is, I don't know. If I would have known, I would be able to be a little bit more helpful. But we'll think of it like something not positive, something not proper, or something not limited to just arguments between two people. Maybe certain lifestyle or change of heart that she just left with some other guy or something like that. Whatever it is, we need to put that picture, the image, the challenge, the division, the conflict between you and her in this relationship aside. Because you didn't ask me, should I separate from her or not? You didn't ask me, what should I do? How do I move on? You didn't ask me any of that. You're asking me about your son's feelings and needs and his future psychological well-being. I'm assuming that the mother is not into any kind of weird thing, drugs and a revolving door of boyfriends and this and that. That she's healthy, has a healthy lifestyle, and you guys just don't get along. That's what I'm going to base my discussion. Because if there was any suggestion of drug in the life or addiction or certain kind of improper lifestyle, then I would definitely say yes. Just focus on your child and go on. And the benefits of not seeing that kind of a lifestyle is far more than any shortcomings that the child might feel because of not having the mother around. You will, I guess, replace that with some real nice, caring lady. Mind you, it wouldn't be even needed if you have enough love to give. That would work out fine. It's a trade-off. But having said all that, if we assume that your ex is not a weirdo, is not an abuser, is not into anything negative, and it's just an argument between you guys that you guys can't get along, or she's changed her heart and she wants to be with somebody else or find herself or whatever the hell it is that some people suddenly change their tone of life and level of responsibility in the promise that they've made. especially when there's child involved, if you assume that is all kind of normal breakup, then I would suggest that you get beyond your own need of being pissed off and being hurt and not wanting to see her. Separate that from the need of the child. The child doesn't care what went on between you and mom. The child doesn't understand, especially at this age, what mom has done or what dad has done. All he cares is to have that nourishing and nurturing attention, comfort, and psychological security. You need to get on with your life and rise beyond this anger that you have with her. You can keep that if you want. But when it comes to your son, is your anger for her bigger or your love for your son? If your answer is, without a doubt, your love and the well-being of your son is far bigger than the hate and dislike you have or the hurt you have received from your ex, then I suggest do something that you will be proud of yourself and it will benefit your child beyond your belief. And you will feel far more powerful than you ever thought you will be. That is like coming from the scene of Star Wars when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader in that Death Star just about leaving, and Obi-Wan Kenobi says, if you strike me, I will be stronger than you could ever think of, or something like that. This is your moment that if you can do this, provided what we said is correct and assuming it's a healthy lifestyle, you will become, as much as you hurt him, as much as you hate it, and as much as it's going to be painful, but if you can do this and manage this to arrange a certain situation where your son can benefit from mom's nurturing and love, because she obviously definitely loves him, can't say no unless she's just some, I don't know, crocodile. I don't know, even crocodile likes his kid. So if he can do this and manage that, he could benefit from that nourishing connection of the mother and the child, as it is as just as important and the same for the father and the child. Then you have risen above all that shit and you have become such a strong man that you would have never had this opportunity to make that clear to yourself. You'll become more powerful than you ever thought you could. You can handle anything, not even just controlling your feelings. That will grow out of it. In about 2 to 3 years, you will not have this hate or dislike about your ex anymore. But 2 to 3 years of important years have passed for your son not to feel that comfort and psychological security, to feel confident and not afraid, not missing anything. When he goes to school, he doesn't have you or the mom with him in the classroom, but he has the knowledge that there is a mom, there is a dad, and my dad is handling it. And you are a role model to him. He needs to see how you deal and behave and treat a woman. Even though she has been bad to you, he will understand. Believe me, you will say enough things even if you want to stop it. You will. Maybe in a positive way, but you will. He will see how the mother behaves and interacts with him, or how unselfish or attentive she is or she's not. Through his few years from now, he will get to know everything. But until then, these 3 years that passed, and 3 years from now, you will see yourself, you have no more hate for her. You don't even care. You're okay with it. You've recovered like a rock thrown in the water in the pond, and it created a splash and discomfort, disturbance. But in about a few minutes, water covered it where the rock fell, and it's all calm and like nothing happened before. That will happen to you. You will not care anymore. Maybe you will have your own new girlfriend, new woman, or not, but you will not care about this feeling and hate or dislike that you're going through right now. You will not have that anymore. But then the child never got those 3 years that could give him psychological security. He was deprived. You can never bring that back. So what you need to do right now, through a certain understanding and arrangement, a good arrangement, make sure that, provided that your ex is a normal woman, as we talked about it, make sure that they will have time together. Create, in a while, when you are over this hump of anger, create some family get-togethers, even for an ice cream or for a park, walk in the park, or some few hours, or maybe mom can do some homework with him, or you can, or you guys can go to a restaurant once in a while. Make sure you celebrate or buy a gift for mom through your child. Like, buy a gift, give it to your child, make sure your child understands to have a respect and love for the mom. Because, not because you respect her, because you want him to feel comfortable, normal, and secure, and feel he's loved. He's sitting on a solid ground. What you're doing could affect him and create earthquake for him. Makes him feel he's not on solid ground, even though you may be right in all counts. But don't do that to him. Make sure they will see each other. Make sure he will have enough time together, maybe in your home, or maybe in a park, somewhere that he's not going to be in contact with people that you don't want him to be in contact with. But with the mother, it should be okay. So this is my suggestion to you. I hope you take it to heart and think it through. And when it's time for you, when you're comfortable with it, when this initial rage has gone, make that happen. Daniel says, so back to my son's mother. He has had a rough past. She has had a rough past. Before me. I think her heart has turned cold. I don't know if she could truly love and care. She has anger issues. When we would argue, she wouldn't care if our baby was in the back seat with us. She would yell and swear. Okay. I would be like, calm down. Our son is right here. She wouldn't care and keep yelling and swearing. So with this kind of disregard for our son is one reason I don't know if it's a good idea for her to be in his life. Well, does she also swear and yell and scream or even physically beat your son when you're not around? Because if you guys are argue and one cannot really have enough know-how or attention or consideration not to raise his or her voice in front of the children in an anger, so they won't be afraid and they won't feel threatened or they won't feel psychologically insecure due to the fact that they see what's happening with mom and dad. Because mom and dad are the pillars of life to a child of that age, or any age pretty much, until they really grow up. when they see this sort of thing, they feel there's an earthquake. They don't feel comfortable. They don't feel secure. It affects every aspect of their life. Their studies, their eating, their happiness, comfort, everything. And you don't want them to get used to that. So, is she behaving the same way when you're not around? Because if it's an argument between you two, then if you take the elements of argument out of the equation, in other words, you're not there. I'm not saying you were the cause of the argument. No, I'm saying because you're there, there's obviously she has someone to argue with. But if, let's say she's alone, she doesn't yell and scream on herself, does she? She's not crazy. So if she has an argument with someone, if that someone is not there, if that issue is, therefore that issue of discussion cannot be there, is she still going to be bad, ill-mannered with the child? I don't know, abuse her or beat her or yell at her or try to put her frustrations on her. If that's the case, well, then you're right. She's not ready, or she's gone, a little bit too far to the deep end. But if it's not understanding how to discuss things in front of a child, well, if there's no discussion, then she could be okay. There's a video I have on my channel. It's probably the first 2 videos I ever made. That was like maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know. It's about how to treat each other in front of the children, or how to, after the divorce, something to do with divorce. If you go on the search and put divorce, those 2 videos might come. Or just go to the very first videos that you see. It will be how to interact with each other after divorce, or how to interact with children after divorce. There are these two. It may give you a few pointers there. And so if she's not able to recognize that in front of the children, you guys should not be arguing loudly or yelling and screaming at each other, if she can't do that, then bring it to her attention. Maybe she just needs a little encouragement to have such discussions, to know the effect of it on the children. But if she can't, then maybe, if you probably know, how does she interact with the child when you're not around? If she's not doing all these weird things, then again, it's okay. Let her spend time with her, with your son, because you're not there, they're together. So that could be nourishing. But find that out. If there's no abuse, there's no putting fear into the heart of the child, or is not trying to turn the child against, because the child is 3 years old, for God's sake. Don't bother him. Don't, I'm sure you're not, and she shouldn't either. So find out if she's okay. Maybe she can spend some time in your home when she wants to see him, if her home is not properly arranged. But if it is, then, if it's safe, if she's caring, if she pays attention to him, if she's not neglecting him, she's not on the phone and doing things while he's there and he could be in danger or something, well, that's fine. But if you can't be, see all that happening, well, then you make the right decision and just, maybe have them interact in a park. When you're there too, you can just sit a ways away, and you're there, but you're not interfering with their connection. And, or create some kind of a pleasant atmosphere, having food together. So the child will have some good thinking, good memories of his childhood. This must be Prince giving me a heads up about the time. I appreciate it, but no problems. I will answer all the questions that are already here, and then we will end it today, because I don't want to leave people hanging when they have already asked questions. So let's have no more questions other than the ones that are here. So let's see, she won't care. Okay, so if you feel that she's not ready and she doesn't care, then I guess what you're doing is what you're doing. But remember, your son would appreciate your dedication towards him, but at some point, at least when he's 15 or 16 years old, until then, it would be very helpful if, you know, I mean, at least 15, 16 years old, and he would need to see how you interact and behave with a woman. So he can learn from his dad how to be generous, gracious, attentive, kind, how to interact with women, how respectful, how warm you are. These are things that he needs to see, but not with every drum, you know, every girl that you don't bring him home. Let him feel he is secure. In other words, he now feels the absence of mother, and then if he feels psychologically insecure a little bit, and if you bring a woman into your life right now, he will feel, my goodness, now I don't have my mother, now I have to share my dad that I love, and he's giving me psychological security and protection and all this feeling of security. Now I have to share him with somebody else. Don't do that. Do your dates out there when he's with your mom or, you know, someone responsible. And later on, when he's older, like 15, 16 years old, then you want to have a girlfriend visibly, that's okay. But he needs to see you interact with women, at least in some instances, that he could see how it's done, and it will be that understanding is generated in him from childhood. Nikki says you want to be free. Yes, okay, then Nikki, you know what to do. You're welcome, Nikki, my pleasure. Jerry says, just now tuning in, I will have to watch later. Have a super sun. Okay, thank you, Carrie. Good to see you here. And Daniel says, what is your YouTube channel called? Daniel, my YouTube channel is under my own first name and last name. My first name is up there on this post up there on top of the video. Mehran, M-E-H-R-A-N, Mehran. My last name is Dadbeh, D-A-D as in dad, then followed by B-E-H, Dadbeh. Mehran, a little space, Dadbeh. If you put these two, first name and last name, the channel will come in. And of course, make sure you go to Mind That Seeks Truth Facebook page, and also click on like there, so you will see the posts as they come up. So, okay guys, I think we have responded to all questions that came toward us, and I really appreciate you guys being here, sharing this time with me. I love you all. Be good to yourself and to the others, and take care of yourselves as best as you can. And I'll see you guys next Saturday or next Sunday. But watch for my post on Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, and check my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and hope you all will be well until we talk again. Bye-bye for now.